We're ready. Welcome, ladies. So glad you could join us tonight. And that was a wonderful front page article in the Argus about Nora, Carol Bracco's service dog, who is our latest honorary member. Another great idea from Tina Hittenberger. What can I say? Thank you so much, Tina. You always come up with the best ideas. And I'd like to thank all of our awesome vice presidents, past presidents, who shared their memories with us last Tuesday. It was just so inspirational. It's fun to thank you all. It was fun to review the evolution of our club. And next month, we're going to review even more history when Linda Buffo is here with the Petalumans of yesteryear. That will be next month. As you know, we've had 2 successful blood drives at the clubhouse, and we're planning a third on Wednesday, April 7th, thanks to the coordinating efforts of Nancy Frazier. Also, Lynn Grosser has managed to get our beautiful French sliding glass doors repaired in the clubhouse, so there's something else to look forward to when we open. By now, you've probably all received your notice in the mail about our non-event fundraiser coming up, which is being chaired by Esther Shao and Terry Ann McGowan. We hope you will consider a donation, especially considering all the wonderful raffle prizes they've come up with. As you know, nominations are coming up. We'd like you to consider running for the board. It's a very rewarding experience. We're still looking for an AP treasurer. It's pretty hard to fill Ann Moranti's shoes, but she has streamlined the job, and we will be hiring an outside bookkeeper when things open up at the clubhouse and there is more paperwork. So please keep that in mind. And now on to our exciting program. Our very own Susan Price, longtime member of Women's Club, former president. And I didn't know she used to have a TV show. She used to have a radio show. It's amazing how talented you gals really are. I'm always amazed. Anyway, she'll be talking to us about ways to painlessly organize our homes and offices. Please help me welcome Susan Price. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You know, when I was invited to do this little talk tonight, I was just thrilled because as most of you know, the Petaluma Women's Club just means the world to me. I have to say, just giving this talk and looking at myself giving the talk is so weird. Maybe I should look away. I don't know. It's too weird. But in the club, you know, I found friendship and fun and good food and creative decorating. And in addition to the creative decorating, what I treasure most are the friendships and such wonderful and kind women. I've never met such a group of women in my whole life as our group. I feel really blessed and lucky to be part of it. So now, before we get into the nitty-gritty of organizing, a few housekeeping notes here. At the end, there will be a brief question and answer, and I wanted to have it for 15 minutes so that you do get a chance to ask questions. And so think about that, what you want your question to be. And also, if you would please jot down your question just in case we run out of time and you don't have time to ask your particular question, or maybe you're too shy, although who's shy here really, to ask your question. And I'm put it in the chat room and I'll be happy to answer it because Lynn Ann has worked out this great system where we get a copy of the chat afterwards. And I find that fabulous. And, or if you just want to email it to me, my email is oneamazingorganizer@sbcglobal.net. And the 1 is the number 1, not O-N-E. Show of hands. How many here are self-employed? 1, 2. Can I view everybody at once?
Yeah.
Just click view, gallery. Oh, this is so much better. Oh, good. Because I don't have to look at my jowls and all those other awful things that are going on. So I'm sorry, show of hands. How many entrepreneurs do we have here? Oh, just 2. Huh, I would have thought more. Okay. And then also, what is your least organized room in your house or office? And I'll just maybe, is there anybody who would like to tell me? Lynn?
Simply unmute when you
Oh,
want to talk.
I think
Everybody,
she is, Lynn is unmuted.
okay, Lynn,
Oh.
go for it. Yeah.
Um, the garage.
Garage.
Yeah, that's a big one for
Garage,
sure. Anybody else care to offer?
Bob's
Sewing
back
room.
room with 10,000 books.
Oh, yes.
He wouldn't say it's unorganized though, right?
Oh, they're organized. He knows how to find them, but it's all the other stuff that's gotten thrown in there over the years.
Yeah,
It's unfinished, so nobody sees it.
yeah, yeah.
I think there's sections like a closet or a drawer or, you know, stuff like that, that you put stuff away and then you go, okay, pray for the energy of cleaning
Yep.
out.
Yep. Marie, oh, I know what's coming here.
My husband's study is a goddamn mess.
Oh my gosh.
On that vein, my office, which is the husband's office also, which is also where I work from home now 60 hours a week.
Yikes.
Ah. Well, you're in luck because that's what we're going to focus on tonight, our home offices, Alicia. Oh, wait. I guess, did you mute yourself
Yeah.
now? Okay, okay. Sorry to be so dumb about these things. Okay. So obviously in 30 minutes, I can't cover everything. And when I spoke to the day group, I basically went through the house, ideas for the kitchen, ideas for the living room, upstairs in the bedroom, yada, yada. But I thought tonight, so what with COVID and so many people who normally go to work for their job are now working from home. And many of us do have home offices anyway, just for the day-to-day things of, you know, bill paying, running taking care of your family life and all of that. So, you know, and there are so many aspects to organizing. It's not just, you know, the closets, the cupboards. It's pretty much everything. It's your workspace. It's your car. I mean, I can't tell. I have actually had people have me come to organize their car, and really, it needed it. So, and I was happy to do it. But yeah, the car can get that way too. Hi, Susan.
Hi, it took me a
Welcome.
minute to get in. Thank you.
So, and it's basically your life, you know, and once your life is organized, so much will improve. You know, your health will improve. For example, blood pressure. You know, once things are organized in your home, it's calmer, and so you will be calmer. Because there's a lot of subconsciousness that goes on around disorganization. It's not like the individual is disorganized per se. There are some individuals who are very disorganized, but for the most part, they are not. It's just that their lives are so busy. And, you know, I mean, my heart goes out to those people because it's really difficult. You know, you want everything to look pretty, but, you know, you've got to go to this meeting or you got to do this and you've got to do that. So anyway, perfectly understandable. But it gives you more time, you know, for better eating habits, for organizing. And when we can, to finally invite a friend over for dinner. And what worries me now is knowing, you know, what people do when they invite people over for dinner. Is I have this one client, well, several clients. I mean, if you just pick the table cover up in their dining room, I mean, the whole underneath the dining room table is just full of stuff. I mean, they just put things away and hide things away. You know, there's always that closet and shut the door quick. So I just wonder now that people, you know, don't have those having people over where they're going to clear everything out, what their homes are looking like. Although apparently they were doing a lot of organizing in the beginning of COVID, not so much now. So, you know, and actually messes are actually tied up with feelings of insecurity, confusion, nostalgia, of course. For example, a pile of newspapers. And I've seen a pile of newspapers like maybe this big, and I've seen them that big where they nearly touch the ceiling. But they think, oh, okay, there's an article I want to read in that, and then they put it aside, and then that goes on for a decade. So, and plus for marriages, they can suffer too. One member of a couple won't throw away a newspaper because the other member has said they wanted it, and then they get a little bit angry about that. But then the couple, the other person, there's a treasure in one of those newspaper articles that she wants to see. So, they both resent the other a little bit then for those piles of paper. So what I'm going to go to tonight are quick cures for clutter, 10-minute cures. I mean, we all can find 10 minutes, hopefully. So how do I start, you may say? Oh, it's overwhelming, you may say. Daunting. Well, yes. But you may be putting off clearing out certain areas because it's just so overwhelming. And I can appreciate that. But I'm going to show you simple ways to cut it down to 10-minute segments. And then you'll be glad you use that time wisely. So, and the thing is, with each mini project of 10 minutes, make sure that you can do it in that allotted time. Don't bite off more than you can chew, as the expression goes. Because the satisfaction and sense of control that you will get will keep you motivated for the next mini project. So, all right, let us go to the kitchen, shall we? And we will talk about organizing your storage containers. That's right, all those plastic containers you've been hoarding from Whole Foods and Petaluma Market and the like. Let's take a look at them. 10 minutes. Now think about that. So for 10 minutes, cull and sort. And by that, I mean, first of all, pull everything out of the container cupboard or drawer, wherever you keep your containers, and sort through what you have and keep only the containers that you use most often and that have a lid, and put the rest in the discard and giveaway bags. So, and that's in 10 minutes. Now you can do more, but I suggest to you just do that, because now you have accomplished something and you're going to feel good about it. And I want you to feel good about it, at least starting. And then put all the keepers back in the cupboard, and to save space, nest the containers within one another. I'm sure you've all figured that one out. I mean, the round one within the round ones and the square ones within the square ones. Although some people, they just throw it all in a jumble and think nothing of it, but still. All right, so for when you have another 10 minutes, I'd like to suggest you approach the lids, organize the lids. Double check that every lid in your container or whatever you use, a cupboard or something, has a container that fits the lid. Now, maybe you want to keep 2 lids for a container. I don't know why, but some people would. I would just suggest that you not keep more than 2 lids for any container, because really, where is that lid going to go? It's not like a sock in the dryer where it's going to, get absorbed, I mean, within the sheets or something like that. No, it's not. So, oh, and then stack
sock heaven.
Sorry?
It goes to sock heaven.
Yes, exactly. Thank you. And then stack the lids of similar shape, the round ones and then the square ones all together. And you can put them underneath the containers, or you can stand them, which I like to do is stand them up vertically, so they're easy to pull out. So that was 10 minutes. So now also in the kitchen, oh, here's a fun time, clean the refrigerator. So for 10 minutes, just clean one shelf or drawer, not the whole thing, just one shelf or drawer. And by working in 10-minute chunks, you will soon get through the whole refrigerator, I promise. So put all the items out of the section you have chosen, say the second shelf or something, and place them on the kitchen table, which hopefully you have cleared off by now. And what I just said about pull all the items out of the section, this will be an ongoing theme of how to handle, organizing. So you put all the stuff and look at it. Boy, all these people are entering. This is so exciting.
Hi, Susan. It's Margaret, and I'm so sorry I'm late.
No, you have no sorrow needed. I'm just thrilled you're here. I thought maybe you'd be wearing a bathing suit or something.
No, I just got back from Hilo. I was in Hilo for the day with my sister, so
Oh, I'm just thrilled to see you,
good
gosh.
to see you.
Yeah, that eyeglass store that we saw each other in that time is no longer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's now a kitchen appliance store or something like that. Yeah.
Huh.
Anyway, I digress. Yeah, so now, so throw out all the food that is past its expiration date, any produce that's going limp, and any leftovers whose age you are unsure about. And
Steve, come eat your dinner.
what? Did somebody say something? No? Okay. And then anything that causes you to ask, is this still good? Because if you have to ask, it's not. All right. So then wipe the shelf and the drawer clean with a damp sponge sprinkled with baking soda and then dry with a dry dish towel. And replace all your fresh items in your nice clean shelf. And I like to keep things in sections, like things with like on the top shelf, I'll put meat, fish, milk, because somewhere I read that the top shelf is the coldest. And then on the second shelf on the right side, I put cheese and eggs together. So I always know, where things are. And then of course, fruits and vegetables in the produce drawer, except sometimes that's hard to open up. But anyway, all right, let's go to the bathroom, shall we? And organize that cabinet under the sink. Honest to God, that is like the biggest waste of space I have ever seen in my, it's just one big square empty, there's no shelves usually. What a drag. So what I'd like to suggest is take 5 minutes at this point. So you have a break, not 10 minutes, 5 minutes, and measure and order. Because what I'm going to suggest is under the sink cabinet is to get some stacking drawers, and you can order those online at Container Store. Maybe you can order them at Target. I don't know, but I know Target may have some too. Or what I've used are those great big, supposedly see-through containers with the white plastic lids that go on them. And when you get these containers, get all the same size, all the same color. So it has a nice, beautiful, attractive look, not, a whole jumble of different, because then it's still a mess. And then when you do measure under there, make sure to allow for the drain pipe that's usually in the center of that. So it's this side and then this side and then the depth, blah, blah. So that is just the 5 minutes. So when you have 10 minutes and you get your stuff, unpack it, assemble it if you need to. And I suggest putting a label on each one, maybe about this size, and use one of these handy dandy Sharpie pens with a really, I love this, really wide tip to make your label. Or maybe you have something better, that's fine. Let me know though, I would love to know. So once you unpack, decide what category of object will go in each drawer. For example, one drawer could hold all the cleaning supplies, such as sponges, scouring powder, and so forth, rubber gloves if you use them. One drawer could hold extra toilet paper and Kleenexes. Another could hold a hair dryer and accessories. Things with like. So, okay, so that's 10 minutes, just putting that together and labeling the containers. Another 10 minutes, toss and install. So pull everything out of the cabinet. Like I said, this is going to be an ongoing theme. Pull everything out of that cabinet and discard any unused, used sponges, old razors, toiletries you haven't used in a long time. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, I don't know if I'm the only one, but I mean, makeup I've bought, never used it. I mean, this and that, and it's just, so get rid of the old stuff. And truth telling, I will, when I moved, I did this very thing, I mean, there was this cabinet in the bathroom and I had all this stuff and I thought, how am I ever going to find it? So I did the container thing. Labeled it all beautiful. All the containers are white, supposedly see-through. It looks cloudy to me, but don't, I have not touched or gotten anything out of any one of those containers since, and I have been here 1 year. So food for
Susan,
Yeah.
I just looked up on Google and saw this very nice under cabinet design.
Yes, well, there's shelves there, isn't there?
Yeah, there, it's just wire shelves
Uh-huh.
and then those white baskets
That's
with
beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I love that. I really
something
do.
I need to do.
And plus you could pull those out, you know, whereas my containers are big and a little bulky. And so why bother, you know, kind of thing. Thanks. All right. So now we're going to go to the home office and tidy some papers. And for the people that came in recently, what I'm doing is, particularly for the home office, we're doing 10-minute sorting of things. So it's not so daunting for everyone. Now, wait a minute. Is Lindy Brown here or not? Are you here, Lindy? Wait, she can't talk. Wait. Yes. Yay. You were hiding behind your sign. So exciting. You were probably napping, right?
No.
Okay, home office. We're going to tidy some papers for 10 minutes. So the papers cluttering the surface of your desk, I mean, they pretty much represent to-dos and all those stickies that are decorating the monitor. Oh my God. So quickly divide. We're only doing 10 minutes. We're not going to get into a whole long thing. Quickly divide the papers into stacks with one stack for each type of to-do. Examples could be call, write, return, order, check with a family member, brainstorm, file. Label each stack with your handy dandy Post-it and use this because it really makes it stand out. And, you know, label each one of them and put that on top of each stack. I think it might be wiser to put the sticky on top of a plain sheet of, let me see if you can't see that, darn it. There, a plain sheet of paper. So that can go on the top of the pile instead of moving your papers around all the time. So you labeled each stack with a sticky note and then still remind yourself to do nothing but sort in this particular time. No stopping to read what's on the papers or running off to do one of the tasks. Otherwise, you'll never get through the clutter and you'll feel like, oh, I didn't do it. You know, it didn't get done. So another disappointment. And you may not even be aware of your disappointment, but you know, it's there. So blah, blah. All right, another 10 minutes. Set up a simple action system. Put each stack into its own manila folder, and I'm going to talk about manila folders here. Now, I mean, a lot of you are probably saying, oh, well, I don't use manila folders. I would do everything online. Well, that's great. You know, do it online. That's terrific. But a lot of people are still using manila folders. So this is the handy dandy. No, wait. Oh, good God. Well, you can the manila folder. Oh, this is really disappointing because I had all these I wanted to show you. I mean,
Susan, just put it in front of you. Stay still and put it in front.
Like that. I can't see. No.
Magic.
What?
It's just, you go away totally. That's so funny.
Well, I mean,
It's because she has a background.
huh?
It's because you have a background. That's why it's not working.
Well, you would think if I put it in front of my face, you would see it. No.
Maybe it's the wrong color. It's blue.
It's like a green screen.
You can see that. Now wait, I think we've got.
Those are adorable.
All very pretty. If you go into Staples, they have the prettiest. Because that's always been my reoccurring thing is make it pretty, you know, and I was going to talk about that in the office too, you know, like make it a pretty place for yourself. So it's a place you enjoy going to and use things around the house, you know, for your vessels to contain things. For example, I recommend keeping all your pens. Now, okay. Keeping all your pens in something pretty. Here I have a little silver container and all the same color pens. These are all black, as opposed to all this mishmash of pens from Ace's hardware store and Joe's mechanic and, please, let's make it pretty. Let's live it up. We're women after all. Or like, see, I was a lot of show and tell I wanted tonight. So here's a sweet little container for paper clips, and they're all the same size and they're all the same color. Keep things nice. I do also have for Miss a little one. It's kind of a crystal. I think it's actually Lilique, as a matter of fact, someone gave me. Okay. So, and then, I have a little carafe of water here, something pretty. You just take off the top and pour it in. So I drink a lot of water having that right there all the time. And then flowers. Have I mentioned the flowers yet? You could have some fresh cut flowers, but what I would please ask you is to change the water. I would say every 3, maybe 4 days, but change the water. It's better for the flowers and seriously better for you because it gets ooky. And then when you always do a fresh cut. So how do you do a fresh cut? You cut instead of straight across, you cut on the diagonal. Does anybody know why you cut on the diagonal?
Yeah.
Who?
Well, that's me. Because it gives more surface space for the water to enter.
Exactly. Good. Nobody ever been able to answer that. I'm so proud of you, Ann, really.
I'm in flower school.
Oh, yeah, right. So, the other thing is I've always shunned away from anything artificial. I'm like, oh God, that's so gross, like plastic flowers. But the flowers now are really beautiful, and the really beautiful ones are now getting inexpensive as well. Like, for example, okay, I have these white flowers in this beautiful kind of, it's actually gold vase.
Very cute.
And I got it at Home Goods, and I think it was maybe $4, seriously. So keep your eye open to see these pretty little things. But, if you're the kind of person you like the plastic stuff from Staples, whatever, whatever makes you happy is the important thing. And I've chosen like gold and white for my little office area with just pops of grass green colors. So I have gold and white tissue paper, which you can't see, but there it is. Darn it. And my file folders are all gold and white too. No, wait. Shirley.
I totally agree with pretty folders.
Oh, I'm so happy to hear that.
I've let go of green, that ugly army green decades ago.
Oh my God, I know, right? What were they? I think a man probably designed those. I'm sorry. But,
and I also get the hanging folders that are color too.
I don't use hanging folders. That's fine. But
and
because
the other thing that I just, since I'm on a roll, is that when I order folders, let's see if I can do it. When I order folders, I get a double tab. The double tab up here lasts so much longer than a single tab. It's a double tab on the tab on the it lasts so much longer. And I have purple, red, green, blue, yellow, and I'll put all my clients in purple so that I know that's a PR client,
Yeah. Yeah, I put my clients in green because that's a money color.
Good.
Or no, wait, no, my money stuff is in green.
Correct.
My clients are in red, hot red. So.
Hot red.
But I'm really, if you could see these, like these all have seashells on them. I have one that has funny sayings on them, polka dots, yada, yada. All right.
I think that's fun. That's really fun.
Yeah, make life fun. I always believe in making things pretty. And if you have a pile of papers, put them all, if you have papers all over, put them in a pile like we discussed a little while ago. And, I've never been much for inboxes. I hate inboxes because, soon you put a couple pieces of paper and before you know, you have 100 and you have a decade's worth of stuff in there before you can breathe. But anyway, here is a little inbox, which you can't see, but I put a pretty little, it's kind of like there you can kind of see it on top of it so that, if you are having someone over, it just looks a little nicer. If that's too dainty for you, and I can see some people it would, put one of those pretty file folders on top. but use the same color file folder for the tops of anything. And when I, if you have a nice room that you can dedicate for your office, great, hooray for you. And I used to, when I was in my house, I had the biggest room in the house for my office. I had this beautiful desk, was a L-shaped desk. Life was good. I do not have that now because I'm living in an apartment, probably 1/6, if that, the size of my house. So what I did is I portioned off a part of the living room here for my office. And I was going to reveal it to you tonight, but it wasn't quite just there. I'm such a perfectionist, so forgive me. But anyway, so about 1/6 of the living room is my office. And I set it up so that I pretended there's a wall behind me. And I had considered putting a screen back there, and Tina so kindly offered to give me hers. But I didn't do that because it seems to be okay like this. But, I have the chairs facing this way for my office and the chairs facing that way for my living room. And it seems to work pretty good. So I use my dining room table, which is really a farm table, for my desk, have a pretty lamp on it and all the other things I tried to show you. I've got 2 white wicker chairs here with white and gold tossed, pillows, because I always think pillows really liven things up a little bit, and they're inexpensive enough now that Home Goods is here. So, you can get a couple here and there. And then I have a table that has these cubes in them, and the cubes are like maybe about this big. I call them file cubes. It's just too bad because this is one of them. No, you can't see it. Sort of there. Okay, so it has gold and white polka dots inside and a faux leather outside. So you can just, kind of throw your papers in there. But I have one for each kind of section. Like my follow-up files are in one, my paid bills for income tax in another, stuff like insurance stuff like auto insurance, DMV stuff, all the stuff that's really important but it's boring and who wants to think about it. All right. Let's see, where am I here? Oh, where are we, Sue? How much time do I have? Is Sue Bunker here?
Yeah, she's here. Let's see. You've got 45 minutes. You're fine.
You're fine,
I
Susan.
think we're going to, after 25 minutes.
You're fine. I'll let you know.
So it's been a half an hour.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to kind of finish up here so we can have a question and answer. So it's important to have proper lighting. I'm right next to a window here. It's nice to have a window in your office so you can look out and breathe a little bit. And that's something else. When you're working at your desk, get up at least once every half hour and just, even if you walk to another room and walk back. And, if you do like a little exercise, slowly and gently, like turn your head left, turn your head right, turn your head left, turn your head right, turn your head left, turn your head right. How many people did that? Not a really enthusiastic audience here. And another exercise, no wait, what is it? Well, I think one is like this, but you have to be very, very gentle, with yourself. All right. And a comfortable chair, an ergomatic chair, if you can get one, but something that's really going to support your back, and your back will thank you for it in the long run. And a desk tailored for you. If you're the kind of person that you just use your computer or whatever, just a small desk would work well for you. But if you're someone that likes to have files out and, reports out and be looking at them, then maybe, you might want to have something a little bit bigger, or like that L-shaped desk I mentioned. And if you're someone that, you want to stand and work, you might want to get an adjustable desk. And of course, make it pretty. We talked about that. Keep clutter to a minimum. And give yourself 10 minutes at the end of each day that you're going to spend in your office, or the end of the time allotted in your office, to just clear off your desk. You know, the coffee cup that's been used, you know, bits of food, whatever, stickies all over the place, and put all your papers together in that little container I recommended, and put the file folder on top, or a pretty little doily or something like that on top of it. So that when you come back the next time, the next day, whatever, that it looks, oh, I'm ready to work kind of thing. And that's also a good time too, if you're a person that likes to scan your work into the computer as opposed to be keeping papers, do that now too. Let's see, did that. Did that. That. And then, you know, nobody really likes to do it. Maybe there is someone here that does, but the schedule file time, you know, where you do file those papers, you know, for your income tax. And, you know, I have clients that just refuse to keep their paid bills or keep notes about it. They say, oh, I have it all online. It's on my bank statement. I'm here to tell you, and I did check with my CPA about this. Although I checked 6 months ago, things may have changed, who knows? But should you get audited, and let's hope you don't, by the IRS, they're going to want that piece of paper proving that you did have that deduction. So the government is always the last to get in line to do anything properly, obviously, but I'm just saying.
Hey,
So
Susan,
schedule-
how long did your CPA suggest we keep it? It used to be, you know, 3 years for this, 5 years for that. And
I know. I would check with your own CPA and ask. I haven't asked that particular question for a while, so I don't want to say. Linda is, I think, saying 7. That sounds about right, but you know, it's been okay now. Yanni is saying 7 too. Nice show of hands there, ladies.
Thanks, everybody.
Yes. So Susan's mantras. I have 3 mantras. One is my 3 things method. And what is that you say? If you have papers, a closet full of stuff, you know, the kind of closet where you just stuff it in and shut the door, that junk drawer. And by the way, ladies, if it's called a junk drawer, I think it's junk. Get rid of it. And when you go in that junk drawer, just take 3 things out, or a pile of magazines. Take the top 3 pieces of paper, the first 3 things that fall out of the closet, and deal with it. Put it away, throw it away, put it by the front door if you need to take it somewhere. If you need to, you know, there's something you've been wanting to take to Aunt Edith. So many times I'll say, well, how long have you been holding this for Aunt Edith? Oh, it's been a couple years now. I mean, really? Mail it, stick it in a box and mail it, get it done. There's only 3 things to do. You can do that. So that's my handle the top 3, but going through a pile of papers and doing the top 3, miraculous, because you have the papers right there and you walk by. I know I do. And my clients have told me the same. Oh, I can just get rid of 3 pieces of paper. And by get rid of it, I don't mean throw it out. I mean, you know, handle it. If it's a phone call you need to make, put it by your phone. And I'm going to talk about that soon. And if it's, you know, something you want to enter, email or look up on the computer, put it by your computer, and so forth. So my other mantra is keep walking, keep walking, keep walking. So when you come home from, I almost said home from school, when you come home from work or whatever, big parties, like we would have them, okay. So sad though, isn't it? Jesus. I'm so ready for fun. So you come home and you take off your earrings. Okay, so don't just put them any old place. No, keep walking, keep walking, keep walking. What I mean by that is walk right to your bedroom, to your jewelry box, open it up, and put the earrings in there. You know, otherwise you got them in the junk drawer. You got, oh, is that where I put them? Yeah, I mean, put them where they belong. Now, Something else, keep walking, keep walking, keep walking. Put your keys in the same place. Every time you come home, put them in the same place. I have a lovely table that I have a lovely little silver dish, and I always put my keys in that. Actually, it's not silver because that would get scratched. It's silver in color, but it's really hard. It's popular in Pennsylvania. Anybody? No, who cares? That's fine. Put your keys in that damn container.
Pewter.
Pewter. Pewter. Thank you. Who said that? Who said it?
Did.
Melanie.
You say I have no
I did.
idea.
Melanie.
Thank you, Melanie. Are you from Pennsylvania?
No, but I knew what you were talking about.
Thank God for you. Thank you. But yeah, put it there. I have never, hand to God, I have never lost or misplaced no, I did misplace my cell phone at Nancy's one time.
I think you misplaced your keys too one Christmas, I think.
Well, that's what I meant. No, there was both of them. I think it was in the.
Or you put
no,
your
it
keys in
wasn't.
somebody else's coat and your keys went to Nevada.
Whoa.
Exactly. All right. So when I come home, I have never misplaced my keys because I always put them in that dish, and I've never misplaced my phone because I always put my phone on this sweet little table here, and I always put it in exactly the same place. So anyway, I'm just saying. Let's see. Oh, and the junk drawer, just throw it out, of course. So I just want to say, and kind of finishing up here before we take some questions. All the books on organizing are not going to get you organized. A lot of people say, what do you think of this Marie Kondo? I think Marie is fabulous. She's a great marketing person. Her ideas are the same as my ideas of any other professional organizer. I mean, and they're good ideas, not to put her down in any way, but she is a successful marketer. You know, she's the television show, the books, all of it. Good for her, you know. I thought about doing that when I was just starting out, you know, like 20, 30 years ago. But then I just got really busy with a lot of clients, and I decided to take that route instead of, because I was going to do a whole national organizing company kind of thing. But I'm glad now I didn't do it. Because I just love the individual. Because if you notice, if you watched her on TV, she goes into a home, smiles sweetly, and she's such a gentle person. But she tells them what to do, and then she leaves. And then she comes back in a week or two later, and it's supposed to be all done, you know, by the people, which is one way. But the people that I know that need organizing do not want to do that. No. So it's just a matter of how to do it. But none of those books are going to get you organized. I can't tell you how many times I've gone into someone's home and they'll have a whole shelf of organizing books, most of which have never been opened. So all the magazines on organizing, they're not going to get you organized. And all the classes and talks, even this one, are not going to get you organized. Only you can do that.
Who's doing 10 minutes? So that's cute, Sue.
What?
I thought you were doing the 10-minute rule.
Well,
10
yeah,
minutes.
that was supposed to be for when I have 10 minutes left.
Got it.
Okay. Thank you. What was I going to say?
But I like your 10-minute rule. I think that that's really cool.
It is. It's just something to get done. You know, you're feeling overwhelmed. I think we're all feeling overwhelmed a lot of the time. And yeah, for sure. Now, that was just to let me know I have 10 minutes left because I want to have enough time, you know, for questions and answers. But I just want to say only you can do that to get yourself organized. Or you could call a professional organizer, you know, to help you. And that said, and I want to address any concerns you might have about calling a professional organizer. And this is not an ad for me at all. I mean, a lot of people will say, "Oh no, I can organize my things. You know, I'm not going to pay for something I can do myself." Well, you know, as Dr. Phil would say, how's that working for you? So, and I will also say, having someone come in and work with you, it really, you know, who knows what they're doing and can do it quickly, really is a real relief for anybody. And, particularly, it just really is helpful. And, having your sister come in or a friend is one thing. It's just not going to get done as well or as thoroughly. It depends on what you want. So, but overall, just, have fun with it. Make a game about it. Like the 10 minutes here and 10 minutes there, an hour here or an hour there. Just don't make it too long that, you have yourself crazy. So, what else? Now, yeah, one client said it's a lot cheaper than therapy. So I would like to open this to questions. What questions might you have?
I have a question.
Now, when
Are
you
you-
say you have a
this
question,
is Lynn.
say your name. Thank you. Okay, go
This
ahead.
is Lynn Grosser, and my question is, with your extensive background and so forth, did you take training for this? Are you totally self-taught over all these years? How did you land in this profession?
No, I did not take any classes. How it happened, I had been in banking, and my part in the banking community was in insurance, and I had a really fabulous job, traveled all over the country. And then banks all started merging. I think that was in 1988 or something. They all started merging, and what they would do, they would pick everything out of your brain, and then, the acquiring bank, and then kick you out on the street, lay you off, in other words. So that happened to me, and it was incredibly, what's the word? Basically hurtful. But even my
Traumatic.
boss said, of all the people in this bank, Susan, you've done so much. And I mean, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but he did say that. He said, you will not get laid off. Well, he got laid off. I got laid off. The entire department got laid off. So there. So I'm thinking, what am I going to do now? I couldn't, go look in banking because everybody was laying off at that point. So my friends would say, oh, I really like your house. You have such a good touch and all this kind of stuff. And I didn't want to be an interior decorator. I would hate that, just, it's not my thing. I love to decorate, but I don't want to be an interior decorator where it's so, I don't know, confined or something. So I noticed, I'm always, kind of organizing things. So I started doing that one client at a time. I mean, I basically made it up before there was a professional organizer as a profession or as a national organization. NAPO is the national organization. So yeah, I just made it up by the seat of my pants, and it just really suits me. I love it. And I didn't do any organizing for clients in 2020 because I was too scared to go into people's homes. And, being the good girl I am, I want to abide by all the rules for COVID and everything. And so I started back doing a few clients in January. And the first client I did was one of my longtime clients. I, by the way, have monthly clients for 30 years. And you would think, well, you're not teaching them anything if they're still coming back 30 years. No, they don't want to be taught anything. I learned that. No, they don't want to be, they just want it done. And they just want to go to the movies while I do it. So that's fine. Whatever works fine with me. I have no idea what I was saying.
Your experience. I think that Lynn asked about your experience.
Oh, right. Yes. I think I talked about it. It's not terrible. Nothing.
May I just suggest
Thank
that
you.
as you stated,
Yeah.
as you stated, that
Talking.
you can't really change people because that's their style and their habits, their habits. And so if you have they can go off to the movies while you do the work, and that's working for you and for them. So you try, but they're not going to take that all in because there you are. You'll do that for them, and you'll keep them on top if they want to keep you employed for those period of time, like forever. Is that correct?
Linda, I'm just looking here. You are looking to your left instead of.
Oh, because my camera's over here and I have a big screen here and I can see better here.
Interesting. I thought it might be something like that. That's
That's what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
So did you get my conversation? I mean, did you get my response to what you're saying?
Yes. 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 Yeah, initially, you know, when I started doing it, I thought I was to be the teacher because I've done a lot of teaching, you know, in the banking community, not teaching, giving presentations. And I thought that's what it was all about. But no, I learned, I mean, like this one client and that has been for 30 years, she has this habit of, first of all, when she uses a ballpoint pen, she never retracts it. So of course, then the pen is drying out all the time. And she has them all over her desk. They're everywhere over her desk. And I'm like, you know, so I thought, okay, so I you know, talked to her about the pretty container to put the pens in and everything. She got pissed off. She didn't want to, you know. And one time we were in the middle of doing something. It was one of the first times I worked there, you know, just kind of showing me where things are. And she said, oh, I'll be right back. And she doesn't come back and doesn't come back. And I'm thinking, well, what's going on? I go out in the kitchen. She's making soup. I'm like, I mean, from chicken and fresh soup. I mean, so yeah. So it's fine with me. In fact, I'm happiest when they go somewhere and just, you know, go have a drink and come back and everything's beautiful. I get a lot more done that way.
It's like when the maids are here. They know how to do it.
Mhm.
Any other questions?
Yeah, I do. This is Lynn Grosser again. Do you have a go-to list of things that you look for that have a shelf life that are immediate eliminations based on what you go in and are looking for with a client?
I have no idea what you're asking.
A shelf life meaning how
Shelf life
old,
is like stuff in the refrigerator.
in shelf life or how old something is, depending.
So,
Um,
Lynn,
What? Like
are you
what?
trying to describe low-hanging fruit, something that is almost a slam dunk at every new client's house? Is that what
Yes.
you're getting at?
Mm.
Thank you, Karen. That's exactly what I'm talking about, whether it has a stamp date or not. When you go in and you're with your experience, you're looking at things that may be dead giveaways where you can start eliminating or recommending things to get rid of.
Great
What
question.
I do is I'm very specific. So we take a room that we're going to work on. So if they want the home office, and I work left to right and just organize that whole thing from left to right. That's the one thing I avoid is looking around for the one thing. And that's one message I wanted to get across to everyone is like that pile of papers. You don't go rifling through the pile of papers to find what you feel like putting away. No, you take the top three. And the same with going into a room and organizing a room, you know, be it the kitchen, be it it's usually the offices. It's mostly paper clutter that I find most people have the biggest problems with. They're not sure about keeping a piece of paper or something. But if that's what the client wanted me to come into their house and point out what needs to be handled, sure. I mean, that's easy to spot.
What about helping
Yeah.
people make
Who's talking?
choices?
Barbara
Barbara who?
No,
Martinez.
Karen.
Okay.
We can pin her. I'll pin
Oh,
her. Let's see.
what are you doing, Lori?
I'm raising my hand to ask a question.
Oh, okay.
Susan, I'm just wondering, do you do the same kind of thing where you have to figure out if it gives you joy, or do you just, when is the last time you
Definitely
used
part
it?
of it. If it's something where somebody, you know, there's something, you know, there's a coffee cup or something, and this person already has 58 coffee cups, you know, that's what I will do. Because I'm not the person that goes in and says, you have to throw this stuff out. I'm not that person. I will help them through it. You know, why do they need to keep it? Well, you know, my aunt gave it to me for Christmas and I don't want to throw it away. And you know, well, let's take a picture of it. And then you'll always have a picture of it. And then you'll have a little bit more space, you know, for chocolate candy in your cupboard or whatever. But, you know, with empathy, I try to go through each thing. And it's amazing how many people think they need to keep an object. Oh, dear. Keep an object just because someone gave it to them. And it could be someone that they aren't in contact with anymore, or we're not that close with. You know, oh, my mailman gave me this. Well, that's really great, but you don't use it, you know, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah. Alicia. Oh, let me mute. Do I mute you?
I got it.
Oh.
I got it. I
Oh,
got it. It's a
wow.
little slow. My family's in the room. It's dinner time. So there you go. So I would say I'm a filer. He's a piler. Do you have any sort of advice for couples working together on?
Well, that sounds like the perfect union. You're a filer, he's the piler. So you
Many
can
piles
pile
for me.
what he's piled. How would that be?
Not quite, because his piles don't quite work like mine.
So, and in what way do they not work like yours?
We just,
There, let me
we don't organize the same way. We don't sort the same way.
Uh-huh.
You know, if I think this receipt goes to X file, he thinks it goes to Y file, and those kind of dynamics.
I see. Well, there's a lot of different parts to that puzzle, if you will. And it's important that the two of you work that out, you know, in a way. I mean, maybe, you know, your files could be the financial files and his files could be, you know, some other file or, you know, that would entail the piles of paper rather than both worrying over the same subject matter, if you will. I would try that. But if I could talk with you, you know, the three of us, it would be, you know, a little better.
He's
So I
right
could
here.
understand, because I want to hear what.
Hey.
Hey,
In here.
I told you, the family was.
You got food in the mouth.
Thank you, Susan.
Did I see a hand over here?
Yeah, Susan,
Oh, hi.
Sue
Yes.
Bunker here. I was wondering, what's your rule of thumb like for old clothes or things on the closet shelf? I mean, if you don't use them after 3 years, you get rid of them? Do you have a rule of thumb or?
I kind of do yes and no, but again, I work with each individual. You know, one client had me go through her entire closet. She tried on everything and she wanted me to say, that looks good on you, or, oh God, throw it out. And, you know, at first I was very gentle, but then, you know, get rid of that. But it was so interesting. The things that I thought she looked fabulous in, she never really bothered to wear. So it was good for her really to have another perspective. But yeah, I think I recommend cleaning out your closet every 6 months. So, you know, kind of with the seasons. And being from the East, I always put away my winter clothes in the spring and I put away my summer clothes in, you know, the late fall, beginning of winter. So, you know, that gives me an opportunity, take everything out. I wash the walls down, vacuum the floor in there, whatever. So it's all nice and fresh and get that pole nice and clean. But, you know, I look at that stuff that I haven't worn and, you know, I hate parting with it. But I mean, just because, you know, it costs money. And that's what I hear all the time. Oh, it cost a lot of money. I can't get rid of that. I said, but you haven't worn it in 25 years. And plus, look at it. You know, so yeah, I mean, 3 years probably would be a good rule of thumb, Sue, for if you haven't worn it, you know, put it on again and see. Maybe if you put it on with it, because our individual tastes change over the years, you know, and not just, you know, because we're getting to be old ladies and stuff. I don't mean I just I love that laugh. But
If it has shoulder pads, get rid of it.
oh my God, right? Oh, I tried on this sweater just because it was cashmere. I thought, you know, I never have worn this. So I put it on and it had the shoulder pads. I thought, oh my God. So yeah.
Actually, shoulder pads are coming back. I hate
Yeah,
to
I
tell
figured
you.
they probably
Oh,
would. I just take the shoulder pads out and
Right.
save them so I can sew them back in. Because
Exactly.
I still have clothes from the 70s.
Yeah.
I have my hippie clothes that I just can't part with.
Well, I
Every once in a while, you need a costume, you know? Bring a
Right.
costume.
right. Oh yeah, and you wore it to one of our events, Nancy.
My bell bottoms. Yeah.
Margot has a question.
Oh, just as another professional organizer, there's a trick I've heard of. I don't know if anyone does it, But I talk to clients how we tend to wear 20% of the clothes that we own on average. I've read many places.
Yes.
So I tell people that, and we pull everything out of the closet and talk a little bit about it. I mean, one client was at a very high-end job, lost the job, now was shorter and heavier and older, and the clothes she had price tags on there, very expensive, and it represented her life and her identity. So it wasn't just that she was going to give them away or send them to consignment. So one little trick they say is you put the clothes on the hangers all backwards in the closet, hanging backwards. And as you wear them and wash them, you put them back forwards. And after 3 to 6 months, you look at really how many did you wear, and then pull those out and cull them again if you can. And that's a process. It's a process, you know.
That's the exact same advice I gave when I gave the talk to our day group.
Okay.
Same thing. See, it's uncanny that professional organizers have the same ideas.
They do.
It's crazy.
Yeah, they do.
Thought. Yeah.
Well, I worked a lot with hoarders, but one thing, and you can imagine walking into a house, I have people, I'm a little bit different in the way I approach people. I have a long conversation over the phone first to get to know them so they trust me. But I walk in the house and I say, can you give me a tour? And that gets over some of their embarrassment sometimes, but they'll give me a tour reluctantly. And then I ask them, what bothers you the most? And if you listen, it'll keep coming up, you know, something like the papers or something, it'll keep coming up while you're talking. And mostly the low-hanging fruit are recyclables, gathering up all well, that's in a hoarding situation, but making sure that it's not totally emotional. It's not their bedroom. I don't ever go to the bedroom first. That's sort of or their own chair where they sit and pile all their newspapers they're going to read, right? So the low-hanging fruit and the least emotional, and listening to what sort of bothers them. Papers is always a big deal, but clothes, books, that kind of thing. Anyway, so you go by the room sort of, and I go sometimes.
Usually, no, my client has what they want done when they talk on the phone.
Okay.
And I talk with them a long time too, because I want to get them to know me and feel comfortable, because it's a very personal thing. And it reminded me of one, this wonderful couple. She and I were actually working in her office. And so in doing so, we were taking the things from the office and putting it on the bed to work with them in her bedroom. And, you know, I just looked around and I said to her, and this was the first time meeting her, I said, I don't know why I said, I feel, I don't know how I did it, but I asked her how her marriage was. And she went like that. And she says, well, it's funny you would ask, because we are having some problems. She said, why? What made you ask? And I had looked around her bedroom, and one rule of thumb, I also incorporate feng shui. And one rule of thumb is to, in your bedroom particularly, only have pictures that have two things in them, like a couple, not just one person in the picture or one flower, but, you know, at least two. And right over the bed, she had this big, beautiful picture of one woman sitting. It was a very pretty picture, but I thought this is not good for her marriage. And plus, behind the door of the bedroom, it was stuffed with all kinds of stuff, just stuffed back there. And the closet doors were open and the floor was just full of stuff. And those are all indication. I mean, it can be bad for your marriage, a feng shui kind of thing. So, yeah. Cheryl, oh my gosh, Cheryl's so cool. She has a hand up. I love it. How did you do that?
How do you get that?
Well, if you go to the bottom where it says reactions,
yes,
that's what shows on mine, and then you can put a thumbs up, or you can clap, or you can send a heart, or you can raise your hand or lower your hand.
Oh my gosh.
Remember, I use Zoom every day, 8 hours a day, because I'm a teacher.
Oh God, Cheryl, God love you. Nominate Obiscum or something, whatever it was.
Yeah, I mean, it's so funny when I, like this morning in the Argus Courier, I read and someone said, get those lazy teachers back to work, open the schools. And I thought, I am teaching 10 hours a day. I mean, really? You know, we are teaching. Schools are open. They're just distance learning open. But anyway, what I wanted to say, Susan, was just to offer a tiny, tiny thing. And it happened accidentally, but when you were talking about the clothing, it reminded me of something that I was looking through a photo album and looking at myself on vacation in a shirt. And I thought, that shirt is hanging in my closet and I love the colors, but it really looks bad on me. I mean, like, why am I hanging on to this? It was that, remember a few years ago when it was the really boxy style of shirts?
Sure.
And I'm looking at myself and it's like, there's a box, walking around. And I thought, why am I keeping this? Yes, I love the colors, but it's not flattering. So that's what I'm doing now is I've been cleaning out my closet.
Beautiful.
Making somebody take a picture of me in it, and looking at it and going, no, bye-bye, go make somebody else happy.
I applaud you, really, that is really good. Yes. Anybody else?
No, I don't think.
No? Well, okay, that's all the time we have for now. Thank you so much for your attention and your rapt attention, actually. And if you want me to email you a copy of my talk, just let me know.
Listen, thank you so much for sharing.
My
Thank
pleasure.
you.
Margaret from Hawaii, and I just want to tell you thank you very much for the invitation. I'm sorry that I missed the present event. And it's so great seeing everyone. You got a lot of new members. Not been gone that long.
Margaret, so nice to have you with us.
Yes.
Good to see you, Margaret.
Yeah.
Everybody. Looks like Electric Linda. Oh, she's muted.
Nice to see you. Ages, too long. I hope